This vocalist was one of the most promising new voices in soul music at the start of the 70s. With a beautiful gospel-infused love voice that was extraordinary in its own right. This performer found his greatest commercial success as Roberta Flack's preferred duet partner. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Donny Hathaway. Now, before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. According to many different sources, Donny Edwards Pitts, or Hathaway, was born on October 1st, 1945 in Chicago, Illinois. As a child, he relocated to St. Louis, Missouri, where his grandmother raised him at the Carr Square House in the Projects. His grandmother, Martha Pitts, also known as Martha Cromwell, was a professional gospel singer. While living with his grandmother, he began to attend church and singing in the choir, and by the age of 3, he mastered the piano. By the age of 6, Hathaway was composing his own songs with singing and playing the piano professionally under the moniker Donny Pitts, the nation's youngest gospel singer. Hathaway was a piano prodigy before entering high school. He graduated from Vashon High School in 1963 and received a full scholarship to Howard University, where he majored in music theory in 1964. Hathaway met Roberta Flack by attending Howard University, where he also was a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. While in college, Hathaway established a jazz trio with drummer Rick Powell. By 1967, after 3 years of college and just 1 year shy from attaining his bachelor's degree, Hathaway dropped out to pursue opportunities in the music industry. Hathaway started off as a producer, arranger, songwriter, and section pianist for numerous labels including Chess Records. Hathaway joined the Mayfield Singers, which was a studio backup band that supported Curtis Mayfield. During this time, Hathaway arranged for Aretha Franklin, Jerry Butler, and the Staples Singers, among many more. After arranging for Aretha Franklin, Curtis Mayfield, and the Staples Singers, Hathaway secured a position as house producer at Curtom Records in 1969. Later that year, he opted to cut his debut single, which was a duet with June Conquest called I Thank You Baby. For the rain. She said, thank. In late 1969, King Curtis spotted Hathaway at a trade convention and helped him land a deal with Atco Records. After signing with Atco, Hathaway recorded his debut solo song called The Ghetto Part 1. Hey! Following this, he released his debut album, Everything Is Everything, in July of 1970, which peaked at number 73 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 33 on the Billboard Top R&B Album charts. This album received such great praise. On December 9th, 1970, he recorded the song This Christmas. Which is widely regarded as the greatest Christmas song of all time and an absolute Christmas classic. That following year, he released his second album, which peaked at number 89 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 6 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. For his second album, Hathaway largely covered modern pop, soul, and gospel tunes. Hathaway quickly began working on his third album, which was a duet album with his college friend Roberta Flack, which peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 2 on the Billboard Top R&B Album charts, also selling over 1 million copies, going certified gold. The 3 biggest songs from this album was You Got a Friend, and Soon I Will Be There, You Lost That Loving Feeling, and There's No Tenderness, and Where's the Love? Now this song earned Flack and Hathaway a Grammy Award for Best Pop Performance by a Duo in 1973. As a solo star, Hathaway's first and only gold album was his live album that was released in August of 1973. Now, this live album is widely regarded as one of the greatest live albums ever. Around this time, Hathaway provided background vocals for Roberta Flack's song Killing Me Softly with his song.
With his song, telling my whole life with his words,
which helped establish him on the pop charts. Following this, Hathaway contributed to soundtracks and recorded the theme song for Maud. Also creating and conducting the music for the 1972 soundtrack of the film Come Back Charleston Blue. During the mid-70s, he produced records for various musicians, including Cold Blood. In 1973, Hathaway released his final album, Extensions of a Man, which peaked at number 69 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 18 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. This album featured tracks such as Love, Love, Love,
oh baby, and love, love, your love.
I Love You More Than You Will Ever Know,
Say I told you so.
and a song that I feel like should have charted with Someday We All Be Free.
Get yourself in gear.
Now, after this album, Hathaway dropped from the public eye, and by 1978, Hathaway returned to the charts where he teamed up with Roberta Flack for the song The Closer I Get to You.
Could never be more than friends, and all the while inside I
Hathaway's last charted single was You Were Meant for Me.
you and me it seems.
In 1967, Hathaway married Eulalia Van, who he met in college. The couple had 2 children with Layla and Kenya Hathaway. At the height of his fame, Hathaway began to display odd behavior and suffering from bouts of depression. By 1971, he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and was prescribed various medications. He once was prescribed over 14 different types of medication, all of which had to be taken twice daily. After being diagnosed, he began taking his medication, which helped his mental health. However, Layla claims that when her father began to feel better, he became less careful about following his prescription routine and eventually stopped taking his medicine entirely. Between 1973 and 1977, Hathaway's mental instability caused havoc on his life and career, causing repeated hospitalizations. During this time, the effects of his depression and severe mood swings drove a wedge in his friendship with Flack, which did not reconcile until 1978 when they partnered up for the song The Closer I Get to You. The duo continued studio recording sessions for their second duet album, Roberta Flack featuring Donny Hathaway, which was released in March of 1980. This album featured hits such as You Are My Heaven, and Back Together Again.
You and I back together again.
By doing sessions for another album with Eric Mercury and James Mtume, they said that Hathaway was singing great until he began to behave oddly, appearing to be paranoid and delusional. According to Mtume, Hathaway said that white people was attempting to kill him and they was trying to connect his brain to a machine that was attempting to steal his voice and music. Mercury claims that following his outburst, they decided to stop the session. Hours later, Hathaway was found dead on the pavement below the window of his 15th floor room at the USS House Hotel in New York City. At the time of his death, Hathaway was only 34 years old. It was reported that Hathaway jumped from his balcony and the glass window was neatly removed and there was no signs of a struggle, leading to investigators to rule Hathaway's death as a suicide. Donny Hathaway is unquestionably one of the greatest soul singers of all time, as proven by his body of work, influencing artists from several different genres, including R&B singer Alicia Keys to rapper Common and singer and guitarist George Benson. His voice was clear and forceful, and his piano capabilities was excellent. Hathaway had an incredible control over his voice and his instruments. He was basically in a league of his own. Now, before we head up out of here, I have a question for you guys. What is your favorite song from Donny Hathaway?